What's up YouTube, this is GalacticGod, and I'm coming at you now with a new updated Synchron deck profile. Now I've had a lot of my subscribers kind of message me and ask me in the comment section of all my videos, when am I going to do an updated version of this deck now that the new Synchron support has been released to us in the structure deck. And it has taken me a little while to get to this, but I am now coming to you with my version of the deck. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get started with it. So for monsters, we are playing 3 copies of Junk Synchron, really almost the heart and soul of the deck. Whenever he is normal summoned, you get to special summon 1 level 2 or lower monster from your graveyard and to the field. Very cool, definitely the key to getting many successful wombo combos off. Alright, so from there we're playing 3 copies of his big brother, the Quickdraw Synchron, another key component to any kind of Synchron deck. Basically, you discard 1 monster card from your hand, special summon him, and he also has a condition placed upon him to where he can be used as a substitute for any other Synchron tuner for the special summon of a Synchron monster that needs that Synchron tuner. Next up, we have the newest addition to the Synchron deck, Jet Synchron. Definitely one that pretty much replaced Unknown Synchron in the deck, at least in my opinion. And kind of an alternate version of Glow Up Bulb too. Basically he has an effect that states, if this card is sent to your graveyard as a synchro material, you can add 1 junk monster from your deck to your hand. If this card is in your graveyard, you can send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard to special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. You can only use 1 Jet Synchron effect per turn, and only once that turn. So lots of uses for this card. The final Synchron monster in this deck is Synchron Explorer. Has a very similar effect of that of Junk Synchron. Basically, whenever he is normal summoned, you can special summon 1 Synchron monster that is in your graveyard to the field. Normally you want to bring out a tuner monster so that way you can go ahead and make a synchro summon since he is a non-tuner. But one of the cool things is you can also bring out the synchro monsters that also have Synchron in their name, so you can do some pretty crazy combos that way as well. For non-Synchron monsters, we're playing 2 copies of Level Eater. I know I used to play 3 in most of my versions of the deck, but we have a couple of new additions that will allow us to just play 2, hopefully, with some good results. Basically, when he's in your graveyard, you can reduce the level of 1 level 5 or lower monster on the field by 1 to go ahead and special summon him from your graveyard, a key component to getting off lots of different combos from Synchrons. Alright. From there, we have 2 copies of Doppelwarrior. Basically, he has an effect that you can special summon him from your hand whenever a monster is special summoned from your graveyard. So it works great with cards like Level Eater, Junk Synchron, Synchron Explorer, Quillbolt Hedgehog, who we'll get to next. Just really great card overall. And then once he's used as a synchro material, he special summons 2 level 1 Doppel tokens to the field. And then you can use those for some more combos. Very cool. Then we have 2 Cobalt Hedgehogs. He has an effect that when he is in the graveyard and you have a tuner monster on the field, you could special summon him from the graveyard back to the field, and then he is banished when he leaves the field after that. So great for making some really quick synchro plays. Next up, we have 2 copies of Mathematician. Now, getting cards into the graveyard is definitely essential for getting many different plays off in this deck. And so summoning a Mathematician and sending a Level Eater or a Quillbolt Hedgehog or a Glow Up Bulb or a Jet Synchron or something like that will definitely get the momentum in your deck going and get you to your combo pieces that you need to complete your plays. And since there's not a lot of normal summons in the deck, he works really well. Next up, we have Glow Up Bulb, a really great card. Basically, when he's in the graveyard, you can send the top card of your deck to the graveyard to special summon him. And you can only use that effect once per duel, so make sure you use it when you need it the most. So for hand traps, I'm playing 2 copies of Effect Failure and then 2 copies of Maxx. Now I was playing Gores in my last version of the deck because I felt like I needed it because I don't really have any defensive traps or any other really defensive cards in the deck overall, so that when my opponent would go for some kind of big push, at least I would have something. Or if I dropped a Maxx when they were going for a lot of special summoning, maybe I could draw into that Gores that I need to prevent them from OTKing me. But I just felt like a lot of times I would draw into it and it would not really work for me because I'd rather have a combo piece in my hand so that I could keep going with the momentum of my plays, and so for that reason I decided to drop them. But beware, the potential of getting OTK'd from not having a card like Gores or Battle Fader or something like that is definitely out there in this deck. And that rounds up all the monsters. For spells, we're playing 3 copies of Tuning. Basically, you add 1 Synchron monster from your deck to your hand with this card. Very similar to the next card that we're playing 3 copies of, and that is Rhoda, where you just add 1 level 4 lower warrior monster from your deck to the hand. Next up, we have 3 copies of MST. Back row is the hatred of this deck, so you definitely want to get rid of it whenever you see it. And I know there are some decks out there that are very meta-centric that aren't really playing too much back row, but I think including 3 MSTs is definitely needed because there are a lot of other decks that do use back row, and you want to be able to get rid of it so that you can continue on with your big wombo combos. Also, cards like Skill Drain, Vanity's Emptiness, or Lose One Turn will mess you up so bad that you have to have an answer to them in the main deck. Alright. Next we have 2 copies of Dark Hole and a Raigeki, because if we can clear our opponent's field, we could probably push through with enough damage to OTK them in 1 turn. Moving on to cards we have 1-ofs, we have 1 for 1, special summon 1 level 1 monster from your deck to the field by discarding a card. We also have Soul Charge, almost a win condition of itself, especially mid to late game if you can get a bunch of different plays back out just in one big swell swoop. Mind Control is really nice since we have so many tuner monsters. As long as our opponent doesn't have like an Exceeds monster out on the field, we can just go ahead and take whatever monster they have and make a synchro play with that. Foolish Burial is also really nice because if we don't get into a Mathematician, or maybe we summon a Mathematician and get a Foolish, we can get a lot of combo pieces that we need into the graveyard. And then finally we have 1 Pot of Dichotomy. This is so we can recycle a lot of our synchro monsters or just any of our other combo pieces. Ideally I would like to change this out for a Jar of Avarice. Unfortunately I don't own a copy of that card just quite yet, but once I do, Pot of Dichotomy is going out for that card. And that rounds up the main deck. Extra deck space in this deck is extremely limited. There's so many great synchro monsters that you're going to want to play. I know a lot of people have cut Formula down to 1 just because space is so tight, but I think Formula is still definitely needed at 2. You can go through so many great plays and draw so many cards with 2 copies of Formula and your 1 copy of TG Hyper Librarian that I think that it's definitely needed that you can have 2 of them still in your deck. It just allows you to make a lot of different plays, and even though it does kind of cut back on another card that you could probably use, I still think that that's very important. From there we've got another great new addition to Tatsunoko. It's a card that I recently got from the Kali effect, and it's one that is definitely great for any kind of Synchron deck. From there we have Accel Synchron and Jet Warrior. Definitely 2 great new additions to the Synchron deck type, allowing you to make all kinds of new plays. Having another tuner synchro monster definitely lets you get to Quasar and a bunch of other cards so much easier. I also have 1 copy of Junk Gardna. I know a lot of people kind of flip this one out for Drill Warrior. Drill Warrior is definitely a great card, don't get me wrong, but I still like the effect of Junk Gardna just a little bit better. I think sometimes if you have to, you can just summon the Junk Gardna and leave him out there and feel pretty confident that your opponent is probably most likely not going to be able to OTK you unless they maybe Dark Hole the Field or Raigeki or something like that. They're going to have to get rid of him before they can summon any other monsters because you can just switch him back over to defense mode. And he's got, you know, kind of a nice big wall too, 2600, it's pretty hefty. For level 8s, I'm playing Scrap Dragon and Hot Red Dragon Archfiend. This is probably the next card that may get cut, you know, to make room for some other options. Scrap Dragon is very cool though. I mean, the combos you can do with him and Level Eater, I still think that it's very important to keep him in the deck. Hot Red has an awesome effect, plus the 3000 attack is very useful for a level 8 monster, and it's got a nice effect of board wiping. Then we have Road Warrior, probably the key to many combos within the deck. The return of the mighty Trishula has definitely given the deck a lot of new life and help. We have the new card, Stardust Warrior, a great new addition to the deck, allowing us to bring out warrior monsters and just negate special summons and stuff like that. Very cool. We have the Leo, Keeper of the Sacred Trees, definitely another great card. A lot of people have cut this one out as well, just thinking that he's not quite as needed, and he may go in a future version of my build, but I still like him. I mean, the fact that you can't target him is always useful and against so many different other kind of decks. Then we have Star Eater, and of course, everybody's favorite, Shooting Quasar Dragon. And that rounds up the extra deck. And there you have it, YouTube. This is my updated version of my Synchron deck. Remember to let me know what you think of it down in the comment section below. Also, I'm hoping to have some new duels featuring this deck up on my channel very soon, as well as maybe a combo tutorial and a new updated profile once the tins come out with Norden. Anyhow, I guess that's gonna about do it for now. This is GalacticGod.